Hey, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Level Up Nation, and I'm your host, Stacey Pryor with the Dustin Pritchard Real Estate Team, and I'm joined with co-host Dustin Pritchard. How's it going, Dust?
It's going good. It's going good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. Looks like there's light at the end of the
Frozen.
tunnel. Am I
Little
unfrozen?
bit. Little. No, you're unfrozen now. Yeah. No, that's
Sweet.
good. It's all.
Leveling up
You know
my
what?
internet.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, level up your. Yeah, exactly. Level up your internet. Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. Is Level Up Nation, right? So, you know, we started this for a reason. We're both entrepreneurs. We both come from an entrepreneurial background, and you know, I love your story about making bracelets out of telephone wire, back in school to be able to put pennies together to be able to do the things that you want to do. And that's exactly the spirit of what Level Up Nation is all about. It's for small businesses. It's for entrepreneurs. It's those people that want to live
Hustlers.
it's for the hustlers, man. It's
I feel
I
like
have a
you need
hashtag
a pimp hat.
what's that?
You need a pimp hat when you say that.
A pimp hat? What's that?
Like a big ass pimp hat with like one of
Oh,
those.
a pimp hat.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's a pimp hat?
2 words.
2 words.
2 words.
Okay.
Break them down. Yeah, no. And pat yourself on the head. That's awesome. All right, Dustin. Well, so one of the things that you and I were talking about earlier is that we wanted to start Level Up Nation because we both have been small business owners in the past. We are independent contractors. And having that motivation, that drive, it takes a certain type of individual. This is not for everybody. It could be, but you have to want it.
Well, you know what? That's easy for entrepreneurs to say. It's like every entrepreneur on the planet says, you could be an entrepreneur too. And people are like, hell no, I wouldn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But you know what? Then you've got people like us that we can't go the other way. It's like I would much rather be an entrepreneur and have the highs and lows and all the potential and opportunity as opposed to having a job clocking in, clocking out. And for certain people like myself, I'm speaking about myself, that's a jail sentence to me, right? Clock in, clock out. Someone telling you what to do, where to go, what you're worth. Right. And you have a cap on your earning potential and a cap on how much time you have to spend every single week to be able to earn $1. That kind of thing is not comfortable for me. Right. So, and I know that I'm speaking to, I know that a lot of people that are listening to this can relate to that. That's why people are independent contractors. That's why they go into commission sales. That's why they get into small businesses, open restaurants. That's why they try to take control over their earning capacity, over their job, over their career by becoming business owners. And
Absolutely.
that's awesome. I love that.
Absolutely. And the other thing too that I think one of the things when you do become a small business owner is that you don't have the freedom and flexibilities that you would if you do punch in and punch out to a 9-to-5 job. So eventually it takes some time to get to that level. And that's what we want to talk to you guys about. So I feel like I'm one of those people that I like popped out, winked at the doctor and said, how do we make a buck? I was like, let's charge to see all these babies in this room here. I want 10%.
That's right.
But I don't know. I've loved it. I've literally loved being able to, one of the things that I love most about having my own business is I'm able to help other people start their business and live their best life and help live their dream. I've had friends who have started spa businesses that went from being $30,000 salaried employees to now making 6 figures just by following a few simple steps. Mm-hmm. And to me, that brings so much reward. And I know you as a team builder, that's one of your things that I think you genuinely, you like making money. I like making money. But I think one of the things that you do best right now is you're helping inspire other people to make money. You're helping, I called it realtor rehab and in a few other episodes, where it's kind of like with your team building systems, You're able to help people envision a bigger future in real estate. And that's one of the things too with me, with my side coaching. I like to help people envision that this doesn't have to be one of my clients.
can make money.
Like, damn it, make money.
Darn you, Mommy, stop calling me.
um, weird moment, Zoom call. Anywho, so yeah, so basically one of the things that I think when people envision working for themselves, a lot of people are still stuck on the, oh, I'm just going to do this part-time because I want a job with benefits. I want a job with security. But you can't.
That's the key word. The key
Mhm.
word is security. Benefits is part of security, right? So the reason why people like to be on employees in a lot of cases is because they have the security, and it's it it's easy to schedule around your life, right? Because you have a 9 to 5, you got a 40-hour work week, a 50-hour work week, or whatever it happens to be. Yes, it's clock in, clock out, but you have security and you have a time commitment that you can plan your entire life around. And some people find it way more important to dedicate their life to other portions of their life, like family, friends, social life, things like that, where they don't want to have to commit to a business. Because you and I both know that as an entrepreneur, there's a scaling process, right? Like you can be a part-time entrepreneur, like you were mentioning, and you'd be able to grow and grow and grow to the point where you're actually making a very difficult decision of, quitting your full-time job so that you can go full-time in your side hustle, right? And that's one of the things that I teach realtors, and I teach, it's an underlying philosophy on our team is it takes sacrifice, it takes effort, it takes hustle, it takes heart and desire, right? And it takes a great attitude. Those are the things that you need to be an entrepreneur. But the
And a
cool
thick
thing
skin.
about being an entrepreneur is that if you come to the table with heart and desire, and you're an entrepreneurial discontent, like I'm not satisfied with the status quo, and you have a good attitude, a willingness to go to work and to learn new skills, well, skills are easy to learn. There's millions of people out there that have been there and done that and have done what you want to do. All you have to do is tap into somebody else's knowledge base and be able to go to work, right? R&D, rip off and
Passion.
duplicate. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to bring the
Passion
passion
you
to the
can't
table.
teach. Passion's something that's free flowing in your veins. And there's a lot of people that have 9 to 5 jobs and they're not passionate. So for anyone who does, if you're someone who's always been interested in getting into something holistic or personal training or something where you make 6 figures or you up your income on the side, I think the 3 key steps that you have to do is, and especially since we've been at home, now's the time to really make those decisions. If you think you can make more money than what you're making at your normal job, then you might want to consider working for yourself. B, if you're not afraid to work 2 jobs for the first year while you get your business up and running, then this could be for you. And 3, if you're not afraid to reach out to people and work your sphere and find mentors, then this is for you. You have a strong potential to make more money, have freedom and flexibility within your own life, and do something that you can't wake up and do every single day.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You said 3 points, but you actually added a fourth when you were making your comments there, time, right?
Mhm.
Time is the most valuable thing that we have. Money replenishes, time does not, right? So freedom and flexibility for me, that's the end all be all, right? So I'm not really motivated by lots and lots and lots of money. Money's nice, right? But it's really about time and the ability to spend it the way you want. And yes, you need money to be able to spend it the way you want to, right? But really it's just about those experiences. Life experiences are how we keep score, right? That's what entrepreneurs are like. And at the end of the day, if uh, let's put it this way, I don't know what a weekend is. I don't know what a weekend is, right? It's
People are like, happy long weekend. I'm like, what?
what? What's a
Like,
long
what?
weekend? Like
That?
you know what the nice thing is that you get to take time off when you want, right? So
Mhm.
I think it was last week or the week before that, Monday was a beautiful day. I took the day off because it was a beautiful day, right? And then Saturday is usually a day off, or Sunday's a day off, and it was rainy and crappy, and so I worked on Sunday as opposed to working on Monday. That's the freedom and flexibility that you're looking for. And if you got the money that you are looking for in your life, or maybe your side hustle's delivering that for you, it's really about that time flexibility and getting your life back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It does take sacrifice. Your first year, your first couple of years, it's going to suck. It's just the way it is, right? Unless you're super genius, or you have this brilliant product that just instantly takes off, which it hardly ever does, right? You're going to have to sacrifice, and you're going to have to work your butt off in your first year to 2 years. You're going to earn it, but it's worth it. It is worth it.
And for me, one of the things that it's funny because most people will think that I'm a pretty level-headed person, but I thrive in chaos. So one of my best friends that I've known since I was 15, she's like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm unemployed. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I'm taking a back seat right now because I don't want to put my clients in jeopardy. But I'm working on my marketing. I'm working on my client list in my sphere, and I'm still doing my acting stuff on the side, and I'm planning my podcast, and I'm also planning my new show that will drop on Rogers. Hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And so she just messaged me back, and she's like, oh, she's like, so you're down to 3 jobs instead of 7? And I was like,
and that's an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And I'm just like, why love just one when I can love them all?
I love you all of you.
I know. It makes me laugh. I'm very big on the philosophy of diversifying your assets and not putting your eggs in one basket. Yeah. So, and that's another entrepreneurial philosophy, I think.
Definitely. Once you've got your side hustle streaming cash flow for you, the next thing that you do is either you look at how to expand that marketplace, or you learn how to add more product or services so that you can drive another stream of income. And preferably they're vectored and they go in the same direction and they complement each other and help each other out, right? So for example, Level Up Nation, this is a podcast, right? And it's a beautiful podcast all about entrepreneurs and about teaching people and helping people grow and entertaining people and having fun, making money. But at the same time, it also helps our real estate business. We're independent contractors in a real estate team and a real estate business. And so this is now vectored. It's all going in the same direction because it's all on the same theme. And because they are both monetizable, now that's what an entrepreneur does, is they find different ways to be able to provide value for people that are vectored, that streamline and take you into the same direction, as opposed to doing this, which is not what you want to do, because that's a different episode.
I do this.
That's right. That's a different episode.
So for anyone that's watching out there, I actually want to give some meat and potatoes. Yeah. I want to give some meat and potatoes to you, virtually. So basically what I wanted to say is, if you are thinking of doing your own business, if you qualify on those 3 different things that I had mentioned earlier, I think what you need to do next is you need to start thinking about branding. So creating a look, tone, feel for your product and your service, that's the next step. You always want to think about your brand personality, your brand character, how you're going to communicate to your audience. That's usually step number 1. The who, what, where, when, how.
Do you know what? Can I pause you there for a second? Because I think you're right. And it's really interesting, because you immediately went into brand, and most people would say you need a product. You don't actually need a product. You are the product. You are the service, right? So talking about the brand it's really about figuring out what's value, what you value, what you personally value, what you're really good at, what you like to do, right? What you're interested in. Those are things that you can turn into a product and service. But that's why it's really important for you to figure out exactly what's important to you, what your values are, right? What you think other people would appreciate if you were able to deliver something to them, because you need to find something that's really truly passionate about.
Yeah, how you're going to communicate with your audience.
Right.
So I always preach about the 4 P's of marketing: your product, your price, your place, and your promotion. So those are the 4 P's that you kind of want to loosely brainstorm about, and then that will help you position yourself in a beginner's bubble, I would say. you want to think about your branding and then cover your 4 Ps. And then after that, I think investigate socials. So if anyone's watching, those would be the steps that I would take to start something new.
I would start off with one fundamental step before you even get into that. And a lot of people, and I've made this mistake, and I think that you might have as well in the past, most entrepreneurs do. They have a great idea. They have a great idea, a great product, a service they want, something they're passionate about, and then they build a business around it. The problem with that, though, is that it can very easily take on a life of its own that doesn't have the end goal in mind, right? So I think the very first thing that you need to do when you're contemplating a business, let's pretend that you're listening to this right now, you're sitting at work and you're like, I hate my job. I hate my job. I don't like this. I don't like what I do. I don't like my boss. I don't like getting told what to do. And I certainly don't like other people telling me how much I'm worth. Okay, great. That's entrepreneurial discontent. You got it. The next step after that is, what do you want your life to actually look like? Your full life, right? Your home life, your family life, your travel life, your time off, the things that you do for hobbies, that type of thing. I think that's your first step, because the mistake that I've made in the past, and I will never ever make this mistake again, is starting a business around a product or idea without the foreknowledge of exactly what I want this business to deliver for me in my life, right? So I think it's really important to figure out exactly what you want in your life. And I'm not talking about, the Lamborghinis and the mansions and stuff. Like, get out of your own, get off the internet marketing thing, right? That's not a thing. If that's your thing, great. But it better be something that you're super passionate about. I want to drive a Lambo. I want to live, in Florida. I want to live in a mansion on the water. I want the boat. I want this. You need to be able to articulate exactly what you want your life to look like. Play the movie and say, am I happy in this space? If that's
your vision board.
Your vision board, exactly. Start off with your vision board, and then you architect a business that will deliver that for you, right? So one of the mistakes that I made was, I built this big business and everything else, and it was very, very successful, but it didn't give me the life that I wanted. I was, one of the worst thing that you can do as an entrepreneur is, like, you build a great business, but then you're trapped. You're in jail again, right? And that's not what you want. You don't want to be back in jail. You don't want to be a slave to your business. You want your business to be able to deliver the life that you want. Work harder for you than you do for it. That's the end goal in most cases, right?
And I think the other thing too, and other people have come across this, is that the quick growth. If you don't have the steps in place, like, most people think that they're going to be at this level, but then all of a sudden the public really responds to it, and then the demand for the product blows up. So being reactive versus having a plan sometimes will cannibalize your business as well.
It's hard to say no to dollars coming in sometimes.
I know.
Really
Well, we saw that actually with Rogers. Back in the early 2000s, Rogers was one of the first companies to adopt cell phone usage. So they were doing combination packages between cell phone, Wi-Fi, and cable. And they grew exponentially quicker than Bell did or any other business did, because their product was more affordable. But they were having so many complaints and tech issues because they didn't have a growth plan strategy.
That's right.
So I just think it's a unique perspective from something that you're talking about. And then the other thing that was funny, you had mentioned when your product almost becomes bigger than you, but it's not serving a purpose. So I'm going to age myself just a little bit here. But the Budweiser frogs that used to go Budweiser. Yeah, the Bud frogs. Everybody freaking loved the Bud frogs, but they didn't actually sell more Budweiser, which was really interesting.
No, they won advertising awards, but they didn't actually sell more product, right?
They were selling more Budweiser stuffies than they were actual Budweiser cans, which was really unique. And that was like the time around the what's up? So I think that's kind of interesting. And then on the flip side of that, the coronavirus hits, and then Corona sells out like crazy.
Because everybody needed props for their memes.
I know.
Right?
So funny.
You know what? Stay
In the
tuned,
fun knives.
okay? Because you know what? These are really good topics. We're actually going to do a deep dive on a couple of these topics as well, like too fast a growth, right? Saying no to dollars coming in because it's a strategic move, not separating, you know, different product lines and services and things like that, and doubling down on the thing that you're really good at, right? All those things, assuming risk in new marketplaces and reasons why businesses actually go under too much success, too little success, too diversified too early, all kinds of different reasons. So we're going to do a lot of deep dives into those kinds of topics. Those are fun.
Absolutely. And if you guys have been listening and you have questions or comments, we always want to hear about what you guys think and what you guys want us to talk about. So hit us up in the comment section below. This is my two-finger typing. So yeah, we want to hear what you guys want to talk about. So if you're interested in starting up a business, if you've been in business for, 5 to 10 years or more, and you're looking to level up in a different way, shape, or form, let us know. We want to talk about this, and we want to talk to you. Maybe you could be a guest on our show.
Hey, you want a shameless plug for your business? Come on the show and talk about your experiences, right?
Mm-hmm. Dustin, any final thoughts, or was that kind of like your pseudo wrap up?
That was a pseudo wrap up, but we want to hear from you. We love business owners. We love entrepreneurs. We've both been entrepreneurs our entire life, right? So we love talking shop. So if you want to talk shop, no problem. Reach out, comment below. If you want to be on the show and talk about your journey, your successes, your failures, and then your successes despite your failures, we want to hear about it. We want to hear your story.
And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to Level Up Nation with me, your host, Stacey Preer, and co-host
Dustin Pritchard.
We'll see you next time.
All right.